Uh, Hello. Apparently just because you go live in OBS does not mean you actually go live on YouTube. So, I've just been a bit of an idiot for like a good while. So, you know, what else is new? Just being like, something doesn't seem right here. And it's like, well, oops. Turns out I just... Dude, streaming on YouTube is hard compared to Twitch, which is like, press the button and go. That's wild, actually. I'm gonna be real. So, just for anybody who missed it, I'm gonna go through the event or probably like talk about it, maybe provide some advice if people ask, probably discuss the PV, and then I'll see if I can get my tablet set up for real this time, and then attempt some like art for my Twitch channel thing. Yeah. Yeah, because I hit affiliate there. Let's do it like this until I can get it balanced out or something. Let's see. I still need to get rid of some of the empty space. Every time I do this, I always have to manually adjust it, which is, it's something. But here we are. So I hope everybody's free rolls has been going well so far. Especially because they can yield some pretty random stuff. Just imagine rolling thinking maybe you get like Keith or Victor and you just were like, who's this hero? Why is he here? Hello, Rebel. Well, if your roll's been pretty bad so far, I hope they do get better, especially with the whole new chapter coming soon. Honestly, mine have just been kind of, they've been lukewarm as well. But, well, considering the PV, if people haven't watched it yet, it has been exciting, to put it mildly. So, well, with the Arcana Survive heroes, oh, I guess my chat's not showing up, you know? Just to make sure to pour salt in the wound, we're just going to get it just not working either. Which is really unfortunate, because I needed that. One moment. I swear, things don't ever work unless you need them to. Let's try this. There we go. Close that. There we go. Everything's working as it should. So speaking of the Arcana heroes, I'm still working on the video, but basically, I think it's pretty interesting that they're trying to do more with longer fights, now that they have heroes who are like, hey, we get a lot stronger after we use our burst skill. And it's not bad at all, but also, like, I think it's hard for them to kind of experiment at this point, because this game's almost like, it's coming up on 4.5 years, Annie. So, I get that they're trying to make sure that, like, oh, you know, don't power creep, right? But, well, I guess I just want to see more game modes where where things like, hey, survival is, like, actual survival is more important than just beat the enemy quickly. Does that make sense? Actually, maybe I can move this like over here or something. Maybe make it a little bit smaller or something. Like over here. I don't know. Just... I'll figure it out. Because apparently making it like transparent doesn't really work that well. It would. Like, for example, like first anniversary Faith, he has like a kit that's like fully about healing. And it'd be an excellent choice for any of those kind of any game mode where you have to survive at any cost. But in this game where the matter hand is making sure you beat foes as quickly as possible, it just sucks for him. Like, he doesn't get a choice. And I just think it's really disappointing because they have like these pretty good ideas and they're just like, nah, it doesn't work like that. So, I mean, I won't stop making videos, at least review content, etc. But I'm just surprised because they have a lot of potential and then they just I wouldn't. It feels like they squandered it a little bit. Does that make sense? But otherwise, I'll still stand by my statement. Ash is hot. But, well, I don't have him. And I can't afford to, given the PV. So it's like, well, time to be sad, I guess. Just look at him from afar and be like, please come over. I think they're pretty good choices for, like, the Arcanas as well. So, I am interested to see if they'll put, like, for example, Akira as the Fool, or as the Sun, because they both equally represent him. And also, well, I'm biased, so like Faith, where will they put him? Because like people would think, okay, well, you know, he's a kind of a, you know, that's fair. He's kind of like he's kind of a bit of a mischievous kind of guy. So, I actually don't think he fits like the, quote unquote lovers type with all the heart aesthetic he has. If I really had to pick one, I would actually have to think about that because he has a couple of choices that fits him. Like, initially, before they actually announced Ash's strength, I was thinking he might have been Chariot. But, well, not that strength is bad, but like, I feel like it fit him a little bit better. I'm not, I would be real, my only, like, real knowledge of Arcana is through, haha, Persona games, haha, the Arcana is the means by which all is revealed, or something like that. Like, I'll give, like, a hot take. I think it depends. Like, it depends on what they want to focus on. Like, if they want to focus on, like Faith's growth from just being kind of like half-assed to actual hero, then we could arguably see Death, because Death is about change. We could say that. Either that, we could say maybe like the Moon, because how he was kind of resentful to like Brad and everything, and you know, he was kind of worried for a long time about what does it mean to be a hero. He's still trying to find his way even now. And as much as I like Jude, he's either the Tower or the Devil. There's no other choice. But it would be funny to see him as the lovers. I'll say it. I think it'd be nice to see the consistency, especially because they already set the precedent with Ash and Bianchi. Maybe just some tweaks here and there, but otherwise, it's a pretty decent outfit. Nothing wrong with it. They would cry? Yeah, they would cry if he's the lovers, but you know, like, I get it. They're gonna put... There's a good chance they'll put Faith in there just for the Yume, and I get that. I totally get that. But it would be funny. And sometimes you just gotta pick the funny route. For a 3-star, if it's better to single pull or 10 pull, honestly, if you're just fishing for a 3-star hero, it's better to 10 pull, because this is not like the Hoyoverse games where they keep the 3-star pity through singles. It's just a matter of you either get it or you don't. So you should not do singles unless you're desperate. And I relate to that desperation, but also you should not do it unless you're desperate. Of course, given my own luck with 3 stars, sometimes you can just do everything right and you just don't get them, and you gotta spark them. And it's like, well, I didn't like you that much anyways, or something like that. I can just move these up a little bit. I'm still trying to like set this up. I'm not 100% sure yet. I guess we can just move you up a little bit here. Until I figure out something for you. Here you go. Then we can just do this, do that, change the properties, do this. And then we can alignment center. Alright, cool. And then we can make this larger. Do something like this. Alright. Good enough for me. Ignore the clipping. I just realized it's clipping. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Go something like this. It's clipping, but you know. Oh shoot. As you can see, slightly unprepared, even when I'm prepared. I literally like scheduled this up and was like, I will do great and nothing bad will happen. And then, oops. I'm still trying to figure out the whole like streaming business, even with, because like I've only really gone to the habit of it for the past 2 weeks or so. So it's been a bit of a struggle. But I will say that doing it with YouTube is actually a little bit, it's definitely a little, not YouTube, definitely doing it with, doing it with Twitch is definitely a little bit easier because you just press and go. I had to like, I was apparently like live streaming for like a good while, but was not actually live because I did it on OBS, which was kind of terrifying because it's like, what happened here? I was streaming the entire time, but I guess, you know, that's not the case. I'm also going to be editing this in real time, so, you know, this is going to be fun. You can make this larger or something. You can do this, both of you. Move this up a little bit. Oh, a little bit too up. Something like that. Move it a little bit down a little bit more, just to be centered. And here we go. I will fill it with stuff eventually. That's true. If there's no scuff, it's not really a live stream, huh? I think other than that, it's just a matter of well, just actually just getting things in gear, because it would be nice to hit to be monetized on YouTube sometime, but that's okay if it doesn't happen. Thank you. Yeah, I'm just thinking about how much to put on the screen, because it's like, how much is too much? If anything, I wish I could put the chat like at the bottom left, because that would probably get less, there would be like less in the way. It's like, we can just do this here. So we do this. We can do this. Or no, I'm not sure if people can read. Like, I think that's the only other thing I'm really concerned about. So we do this, and then we do this. You can just, you know, there we go. Make the chat slightly smaller. Just very slightly, just enough. So we do that, and then I would have to move the other things around and hope nothing bad happens. So, you know, it is what it is. So like, for this one, I can just move it over here. I could just stretch things out so they just overlap, like sort of like this, and move it down like that, and then we move this over here. I don't know about the middle part, but I'll figure it out. Basically, that's the point of these like YouTube live streams, is I'm figuring it out. Because for Twitch, I'm like, all right, I figured it out. It's great. I know what to do. But for YouTube, it's still just like, you can say that even the streaming environment is very different, for example. So it's like, is this fine? I don't know if it's fine. And then, actually, it should be like this. I could just do this. Wait, no, it's behind me. All right, that's okay. That's okay. That's okay. So in the meantime, I will just set up just daily runs, talking about things. I do want to definitely expand this channel. Just as someone mentioned in the last stream, it was about like creating shorts reviews to make it a bit easier for people, or if they just don't want to look at everything, which is, you know, it's fine, but also like my timestamps. So there's that. Maybe some more actual like funny content kind of shorts, because that's something I definitely want to try. Maybe we could do it like this. Yeah, so we can do this. Oh, yeah, something like this actually. Just all right. Story reviews? I mean, I could do that, but I feel like that's a bit difficult to do, given that I'll say I'm definitely a bit biased, and also I'm not really fluent in Japanese, so I feel like I could end up misinterpreting. So that's my other concern. So I don't know. These are just like the dilemmas I'm thinking of, because ultimately, I made this because someone asked for some like helps or guides, which I am still working on. But you know, that was the main purpose of this channel. Nice to get money, but you know, main purpose was that. So that's why I'm like, all right. Before you ask, I'm still moving stuff. So, I don't know. These are, like, that's just the kind of thing I'm just not really super sure about. Do it like this. And then we can move this over here. Alright, that should be okay, I think. And then move this one just a little bit to the left, and I can make it like a block or a panel later to set it up. Alright, I think we can stick with this for a while. I appreciate it, especially because, like, I don't know, for me, I feel kind of disappointed when a lot of, like, games oriented towards, female player base, or, like, Josei Mukes in general, or, you know, Yume, those kind of games, right? They always make the combat or the gameplay super easy, and my thought is it because we're women that the game has to be very easy, that we're not capable of doing hard stuff? So that's just something that's kind of bothered me. And of course, I do acknowledge that not everybody is looking for challenge, but like, the option should be there. So that's why I was really surprised when like Love and Deep Space came out, because it was really shocking that, oh hey, there's an actual like action RPG kind of game available for actually the female demographic. I never it's not something I really plan to cover on this channel, at least right now, but it was something I was just like, wow about it. I think other than that, probably just some memorials. I probably won't go to 7 p.m. today, mostly because for me, I do actually have something I have to do a little bit later. It came up last minute, so it's okay if it doesn't. I think it'll be okay. It's just it's kind of a chill stuff. But I tentatively might make it up on, you know, Friday after the story and everything comes out. Not 100% sure. Yeah. So, well, we'll see. I'm trying out this schedule right now because there were people who said that this was the best time to do it, but like if it's not actually the best time, then I'm not sure. And I'm glad, yeah, because it's one thing where it's like, hey, I'm super prepared, I have a script, and everything is planned out in my videos, and hopefully there are no mistakes. It's another thing altogether when I have no idea what I'm doing, to put it mildly. Like live streaming, but that's kind of one of the reasons why I took it, because, well, it helps me with my speaking skills, so I don't end up sounding like an idiot all the time. Just most of the time. There we go. Either way, it's just really interesting to learn more about like the whole, I guess not only just like the content creation scene between like Twitch and YouTube, but also like understanding what is the most useful thing for the viewers. because ultimately, if the stuff is not really being helpful, I'm not sure why I would continue doing it, right? Yeah, I think it's a matter of just building up the schedule, like, because this is something I hadn't really planned. Like, this is the first one I'm doing for this week. I'm sure that with enough scheduling, more people might trickle in. And even then, apparently YouTube is like, hey, if you don't have at least 1K subscribers, you're limited to 40 people in your chat, or 40 people who's viewing, which is very surprising because it really limits discovery. And I'm like, okay, sure, you don't want to waste the bandwidth, but you know, it's like, all right, how do you expect people to grow when you limit them? It's like how Twitch doesn't really promote people. They're just like, figure it out. It's just a very surprising, shocking kind of thing. Yeah, for me, like, if you can't tell, sometimes I'm just, like, I'm also kind of, like, trying to pace myself when I'm speaking, or just, I like to be quiet, but learning early on is that I gotta learn how to yap, even if there's nothing happening, which is fine. It's good practice, especially in your business world. You gotta sound like you're smart, and you actually know what you're doing. But for now, it's just like, oh man, I have to speak a lot. Holy. It's so nice to hear Oscar and just thinking about the PVS and be like, bad things are happening. Am I F to P or pay to win? I am decidedly pay to win. In the sense of, I will roll for who I like, I will roll for who I find interesting, but I will not roll for everyone. Probably also doesn't help that HELIOS itself is actually pretty small-ish in the international community. I'm sure if this was like something that I could interact with the Japanese community, it might be slightly bigger. And obviously, I want to actually hope that my content could also be useful for them. But not only do I not speak Japanese, but hiring someone to do translations is well, the cost is less of a problem. The additional thing is that hey, I'm taking up someone's time, and that can take a while. So, unfortunately, I can't really just become fluent in Japanese, so for now, I'm like, okay, I have the auto translate, but it's super scuffed. No, that's totally fine. Like, spend within your means. Don't feel obligated to roll for everything just because you can. Because ultimately, like, this is a game about our enjoyment, and if we're not enjoying it, or if it's not really worth it, then don't do it. That's okay. Yeah. I think it's just really important because, like, ultimately, I can give all these guides out, but the biggest rule of thumb is, can people figure out what to do if they don't have they don't have a, you can say, best in slot piece. Yeah, I tried learning Japanese once, but I never really had practice with anybody, so I just forgot about it. That's the biggest issue, because it's like, It's basically like the reverse of English in terms of like almost everything. So while I can just like understand, quote unquote understand, but it's just, well, there's a difference between understanding and actually communicating. That, and honestly, I feel like I would be very surprised if a lot of the players would care about, hey, here's like your best team, here's like how to here's like min-max, here's how to do XYZ. Even though I do want to do do want to do a video like talking about like the mechanics, such as like buffs and debuffs, for example, because I do mention a lot of like flat and stackable buffs, but there's still people who are like, I'm not sure if it works. Things like how healing is actually affected by the caster's attack, which is, you know, not something they tell you about, and just also the different interactions itself. So at least for if I ever do a damage video, I do want to provide like an Excel sheet for like a calculator, but that also takes time to make, but we'll see. And I want to like build it up, not just like jump into the deep end right away. Just like, hey, it's like actually teaching people like steps from like A to Z. You don't just skip a letter because you're impatient. Yeah, most people don't really realize that. It's not like super significant, but it's enough that, hey, you should at least pay a little bit of attention to it. So that's why it's pretty important to just keep these in your back pocket. Because ultimately, like, this game is similar to like Fate Grand Order, where they don't tell you things. They're like, hey, here's like large, medium, small, like great, massive, etc. But then if you're like me, you're like, all right, what is the percentage of this? Tell me what this means. Like, for example, let's start with let's start with you. So you see, it's like big damage. We don't know what big damage means. This one says the critical rate out massive. What is massive? And of course, there's the different levels as well. They just don't tell you that. You just have to figure it out, or like, you know, dig deep into the data. But that's not something I can really talk about too much. And if you want to expand on the wiki and stuff, I'm sure if you're in the Discord, you could probably talk to Misha about it. Sure, I'm pretty sure they would be appreciative of any help, because it's really massive compared to. There's a lot of work that needs to be done, even though people can give tidbits here and there. So there's definitely that. I'm gonna hope nobody saw that, but that's okay. Let's see, any other memorials? Because if so, oh, I guess I'm fresh out for today. Alright, well, you know what? We're just gonna sit here and think about life. But, well, all I can say is they don't bite. You just have to maybe just say, hello, I'm interested in helping with the wiki. It is scary. I'm not going to say it's easy, but you do nothing is conquered without taking the baby steps. Which is, well, if you don't try it now, when will you try it, right? Kind of thing. No pressure, of course. If you don't want to do it or you don't feel comfortable, that's totally fine. I won't like voluntold or whatever. Do things at your own pace, but it is what it is. it's up to you. Like, for me, I don't really like forcing people. Like, I'll just be frank and say, hey, if you don't do this, then don't expect it to happen. And that's the lesson I myself took a while to understand, that ultimately, if you want to improve, you're gonna have to do it because nobody else is gonna push you. So, you know, that's why I'm here speaking, sounding like an awkward person, because I'm still trying to figure it out. Yeah, I feel bad for A Fleeting Melody as well, but at the end of the day, it's a long project, and I'm pretty sure that they're busy with life as well. So when they get to it, they'll get to it. And heck, they're doing this for free, so like, I'm not upset about that in the slightest, and I don't think anybody should be. I'll definitely be just kind of like, you know, screaming, fangirling, and being oh my gosh over it, because this is an interaction I've wanted to see for a very long time. And I'm hoping that we finally get more shenanigans where Eclipse actually proves itself to be a threat. That would be great. That's part of my wish list right now. It's actually Eclipse be taken seriously, not just the Saturday morning cartoon kind of people that they usually appear or come off as. So that's why I'm hoping. Like, we shouldn't forget about how in the first arc, chapter 10, that Sirius kicked people's butts. He was like the guy where, you don't really want to fight against him, and if you do, you better be really careful. But, you know, obviously characterization marches on, and we get a lot of things happening. Not really hating that, but it's just a matter of, I guess we kind of like forgot about the priorities a little bit. One moment. I am still trying to figure out how to place things where I don't accidentally drop my stuff. Drawing tablet would be good. That would suck. Could do it something like this. I haven't arted in years, so it's going to be scuffed, but we'll see. I'm hoping it doesn't accidentally cut off the stream again, because that would be funny, but also, god damn it. Exactly. There's the exactly, and it's just like I want the writers to cook, but also I am an impatient person who's like, please do not leave these ingredients out to dry. This is if this was like Ratatouille, like people were going to get fired. Am I stupid? Don't ask that question, because it's probably a yes. The answer is, I think, yes, considering that, I see no way to plug it in. So, let's see. Put this over here. Let's turn on the program. Just double checking. Area status pen. It has been quite some time since I've used this. That's the problem. I don't know if I actually have to plug in by USB, because if so, then we will have problems. I don't have a third USB port, so in that case, I can't actually do anything, any sort of art. That's a little bit scuffed. I thought it would be a. Well, you know, there's one thing left for me to do. I'm gonna pull up the manual. I mean, I just enjoy a self-roast on occasion. We got the pen. There we go. Patch clip. Yep, that's fine. Battery runs out. Or is it just out of batteries? Because if so, that's, I've made a mistake if it's actually out of batteries. You know, that might be the solution. It might be that I just forgot to charge it. And now it can't do anything. So, if that's the case, then, oops. Yeah, there's like no light. Oh my gosh. $40 tablet, by the way. Well, $40 on sale. Tablet. I'll figure it out later. Yeah. Alright, well, guess no art for today, unless we want to see me be, like, struggling with my mouse. Which I'm sure would be pretty funny, but also, like, this is not professional. So, okay. Yeah, I'll just recharge it later and see if that's actually the solution. I'll worry about it later. I think other than that, it's a matter of, okay, in that case, I don't really have any plans right now because it's clear I was not prepared for this. But I guess I could probably draw with my mouse and, you know, make like a, what's the word? Just a quick, like, sketch about what I'm trying to do. You know, assuming my mouse skills are good enough, which, questionable. Yeah. So, think other than that, how's the new year so far? Are we okay? Are we living? Or are we, quote-unquote, dying? Just, let me do a, window capture. Nope, not that one. Nope. Yep. Alright, yep. Anyways, let me just, adjust this real quick. We're gonna just put this in a side corner, like, over here. Either that, or I could actually just make a, I could just make a new window for this, actually. Give me a moment. I'll actually do that. Just duplicate this. Yeah, essays do. I hope it's not too bad so far. Essays are really a matter of just showing your knowledge in a way that makes you seem smart. So it's, it really depends on how you're able to communicate. Important part is that, at least for, it depends on if you're writing like academically or like, if you're doing it for actual business. There's two different things. For example, like if you're writing academically, you obviously want to write as much as you can, which makes sense, but also like, why would you do that? But for business, it's like you got to tell people from like right from the get-go, hey, this is what I want, this is what we're doing, and if you don't get it, if you don't communicate with the first paragraph, you just lost them. That's it. It's all over. Can just do something like this. It is super scuffed, but here we are. Me with my mouse, by the way, so you know, do not expect anything good. Yeah, for me, like, I've just become used to writing reports, so it's a matter of your first sentence is the most important part, and then after that it's like, hey, here's how we got there. Which is I agree, it's definitely a pain, but it is what it is. So like part of me is just thinking right now which one to start with, because be like I'm still thinking of how to, oh wait, let me adjust the Clip Studio a little bit so it can fit. Can I set it to fit the screen? There we go. There we go. There we go. Close enough. So something like that. Yeah. Because I want to draw, like, emotes, probably not animated, and then also a stinger for Twitch. If I ever had the option of joining Helios, I'd probably do it. Mostly because, like, it'd probably pay well. What would I work for? I mean, probably, like, business administration. That's what I'm used to. I don't know if they actually have more, like, an actual female hero division. But I wouldn't be... I would not be, like, athletic enough for that, unfortunately. So I don't know, I'm just like... probably something like, if we're having... Before you ask this, you're gonna see, like, the most scuffed, drawing capabilities in the sense of I don't know what I'm doing either. So, it's perfect, as they say. Like, I think I should probably just, lower transparency to 50. And for me, like, I'm looking at my own, like, PNG, eyeballing it, and just being like, yeah, this works. So just like, oh yeah, if you want me to change, actually I should just, like, change the music over time. Just like, hey, we're stuck on the menu for a while, so, I guess we're here. Maybe we can change it to... I mean, this is, like, a really funny music, but also, like, maybe... Here we go. Yeah, marketing is definitely something that's really important, especially because we're with, essentially superpowered teens and adults. And, you know, it's like, how do we expect them not to do, like, you know, manipulate their abilities? Not, you know, not be a risk to the public. Oh, did I? Okay. And it's just like, what I wanted to do was just move this down here. By the way, I haven't drawn in years, so, you know, this is already going to be scuffed. So it's like, the goal is that they're kind of like, she's like buried in paperwork. There's gonna be like a lurk emote or something like that. I should probably show Helios in the somewhere. Where is it? What I can do is gonna this here. As you can see, I've deleted a good chunk of stuff, but you know, actually, give me a moment. I'm gonna switch back to this and just put the where's my window capture? There we go. We're gonna, it's called the I don't know what I'm doing arc. Oh, something like this. Or actually we could just put it, yeah. Probably something like, sure, something like this. Good enough for me. I don't know what I'm doing either. It's like, I don't know how it feels like to be like buried in paperwork, but here we are. Just like a... It feels so awful to like draw the mouse, but this is the bed I'm lying in. I actually found like some old art of mine, not gonna show it by the way, but it's like, wow, old me like 10 years ago was like at least decent with the pen tool, and now I'm just struggling. Just like buried. Like kind of like surviving. I am struggling. I can only draw in the barest sense of the word. you know, let's just say it's very generous to say I can draw. But also, it's either that or like paying someone probably like $40-$80 for like an emote set, and a part of me is like, okay, yeah, sure, I could do that, but also a part of me is like, I won't get better at doing art if I don't force myself to get better at doing art. And that's the plan here. So I'm basically trying to recover about 10 years worth of like art skill and not having that because I never had art skill in the first place. Just like more paper. This would probably be like my lurk emote, just like hiding under a pile of paper. So I might move the head down a little bit more, like this. Just be like what's the word? Kind of that expression, just like hiding out. Yeah, that's what I'm hoping for, is that it's actually fun on Twitch, because it's like, hey, I hit affiliate earlier this month, and that's great, but also like, you know, gotta incentivize people to actually follow, sub, and you can't do that if you don't have like emotes or like panels or whatever, and you know, sort of working on that. But basically, yeah, so just kind of like probably something like this just to start off with, and then probably just more paperwork just with squiggly lines on it, just so nothing, there's nothing really super serious about it. We do this, and then that's her arms. But the plan is basically she's like buried under paperwork. Either that, or I could just go further and just be like, just be like, this is all, wait, this be like, this is all paperwork, and she's just like a pair of eyes. But that'd be probably pretty difficult right now. I don't know. Honestly, I don't really have much plans for this right now, and I'm sure it shows. But here we are. And then I'm probably just breaking like every single drawing convention in the book, because I don't know what I'm doing. Get this out of here. Do this. But I do want to do it anyways. Even if it's super scuffed. It's just a matter of practice makes perfect. And in this case, even if it takes me like 5 to 7 years to do art, we will get there. Eventually. Probably. Possibly. I do have like a busy schedule anyways, besides like streaming on Twitch, but also like taking on courses and stuff, and the usual adult stuff that I have to worry about, which sucks, but you know, here we are. The reality is, as one of my professors put it, the dream this year is to get a job. Well, I mean, if you're buried in paperwork, you would be dead with life too, right? Having just like a bunch of stuff to go through, a bunch of files, and you're like, man, this is like due at the end of the day, holy frick, or something like that. I think you would be deadpan too. So just something like this, and then given the situation, I know, something like this. Yeah, I go through paperwork myself, so I'm like, wow, I hate it, but we gotta do it, and it sucks, but here we are. I don't know how to make it bigger without like obstructing the game. Here we are. So I'm just thinking about how to start this, but I guess I could probably just like maybe do like this, just enough, and then this. It's still going to be like a second sketch because I can't really make accurate lines unless I have the pen tool, but I don't think I have. Yeah, I don't think I have that on Clip Studio. Maybe if this was like Photoshop, I could probably finagle something together. I think it's a matter of how powerful did they want to make the characters without being broken? Because yeah, we could do like blood bending with Marion, but then he would just trivialize every single fight. There would be no tension. And then also for Faith as well, he could just blow out the eardrums of any opponents he fights. But this doesn't work unless they're like human opponents. So he'd be really great against, say, Eclipse, for example. But against just regular substance enemies, it just doesn't work. And then, of course, we also have like Akira, who is basically fire itself. But here, my headcanon is that, hey, this guy, he's still afraid. He's still actually like subconsciously still afraid of fire. It's limited him. So even though he unlocked Overflow really early, that doesn't change the fact that he's also kind of like had a traumatic incident. Oh, did I just... Wait, give it back! Wait, I need a dock! I didn't mean to get rid of it! Oh. Hey, so I just lost my menu. Now I have to go find it. Oh. Nope. 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 I apparently lost it because I was not active, which is, really surprising because I didn't actually hit anything. Oh. I'm dumb. I'm actually stupid. And we can expand it further. I'm actually just like, wow. Help. Oh, no, not that. I needed this one. Probably make it a bit smaller. Probably, but I think it's like, it depends on how far it goes, because obviously if they're not like, what's the word? I feel like it also depends on if they actually have his blood, so. An easier way to say is that if they don't have his blood, then he can't really bend. It might be difficult for him. You know. Maybe I should just be smart about this. And the smart option is to do this, copy, paste, flip it over. So do this, scale, we do that, yep, apply the transformation, do this, and then see if I can flip it. Yeah, I can flip horizontal, there we go. Because they're supposed to be like chibi. So, something like that. And then I can just erase this here. Though actually thinking about it, I might do like thicker black lines, just because if this is like a 112 by 112 image, it has to actually be visible, quote unquote. So, you know, I might just get rid of the lines I just did. It's a very interesting you say science experiment, just trying to basically figure out how to do all these like content creation and just like have no help to do so. Really, really wish I had the pen tool right now for this, but I don't think it's available in Cook Studio. Maybe we can do this. I'll figure it out later. Yeah, basically never get a blood transfusion from Marion and you'll be square. And then I can just duplicate this. Like that. Get rid of this. Select this. Flip vertical. I said flip horizontal. Flip horizontal. Something like that. Do this. Delete that. Make a copy of this. Do that. Flip. Nope. We want to get rid of this. So this is extremely inefficient, but you know, sometimes you gotta be inefficient to find your way. And for me, this is my way. The way of being bad. What's my opinion on Brad? My opinion on Brad is that he has a lot of potential because he's clearly very suspicious. Like, don't get me wrong, he is extremely suspicious. But first of all, I want to know, why exactly did he push Faith away? Even though there was plenty of opportunity to do that. To, like, you know, bond and actually get used to him. Help him with actually becoming a hero. But he didn't. So it's like, why did this happen? Also, the fact is that he kind of seems to know more than he should, and has definitely outed himself as suspicious several times. So I have my own headcanons. Probably not to answer your question, but he definitely has his own headcanons. I mean, not headcanons. He definitely has his own problems, to put it mildly. And then just a matter of we don't know much about him, which is the problem, because if we don't know much about him, how are we going to, like, properly assess him, right? And because we don't know that much, it's hard to say. Because for so long, Oscar has been a fixture of Akira and Will's, you could say, heroing live. But because now Oscar is gone, it's like, now what? What's the plan? Brad's been too busy being mentor leader, so now that he's not here anymore, what's the plan? Sure, let's hear your theory. Yeah, he's mostly constipated. He needs to go apeshit. You can also see I misspell things all the time when I'm just pressing stuff on my keyboard. We can make this, nope. Let's lock this one for now. Can I... Lock? Lock? Oh, there's a lock symbol right there. Help. That is definitely a fair take. It could be that. Mine is actually a little bit different. I'm thinking more like, hey, it's not that Faith could potentially die, because if so, I feel like Brad has enough sway that he could just prevent him altogether, right? Because we learned that Brad definitely still cares about him and is probably the type who actually does probably like worry from afar. I feel like it. He always likes to like checks in just a little bit. But also, my take, and this is the hot take, is that, alright, here's my conspiracy theory, my red string theory. I feel like Brad has like some ties to like Eclipse or something. Maybe this one? Nope. That's not the right mood. Let's go with this one. Yeah, sure. Yeah, because it's like, if he was concerned about Faith dying, which is a very valid concern, I feel like he would be more upfront about it, being like, hey, I just didn't want you to get hurt. But the fact that he hasn't said anything up to this point, even though it's like, alright, what's going on? Because my reason for this is that Brad, he says things based on knowledge that he shouldn't know, even though he's mentor leader. And for example, like, he doesn't seem very surprised about like, oh, Eclipse is here, which is like, hello, you should be more concerned, but you don't really care, right? And it just becomes a matter of, Brad, what's going on? Like, heck, in chapter 12, he kind of exposed himself, because he's like, hey, you know, only someone with like a certain amount of like clearance can actually, you know, access things. One of them being him, and it's like, there's no reason for him to say that unless he was exposing himself. Now, this is my crackpot theory, but like, part of it is like, hey, you know, he's a bit feeling at least a little bit guilty. So obviously, oh, maybe not on that layer, but you know, here we are. But that's my reason why he's like, okay, it could, there is potential, there's possibility. Exactly. Like, we have we have Keith who you know, becomes an alcoholic. And then we have Brad who's like, he doesn't bury himself in work, he's just like, oh, well, that sucks. We can't really do anything about him. That's it. And it's like, Brad, your friend is gone. Your friend has just been sent to the Shadow Realm, and you don't care? And by the Shadow Realm, I mean, like, you know, Eclipse the Shadow Realm. And it's like, you don't care? So, like, it's concerning, because he should very much care. Unless he had a hand in doing that. Can I rename this layer? May I rename it? Oh, here we go. Yeah, it's just, he is not reacting the way he should, which is really concerning. Which is why I'm hoping for this arc, now that Brad's forced to kind of like give a damn, to put it mildly, that something will happen. because there ain't no way he is going to be able to hide it at this point. He has to actually, like, he'll either have to play a very good con, or he's going to have to expose himself. That's not the right shade, but I'll fix it later. I just want to get the shape correct. Eventually. There we go. That's okay. Like, there's a lot of speculation. Like, if you want to hear another crackpot theory, mine is like, Sirius saved Akira from the fire, and I'm not sure you want to hear this because I will not shut up about it, and you know, I will continue to spread my agenda until proved otherwise. But like, I like that there's a lot of like open interpretation right now, but also tell us what's happening. Give us the information. All right. Okay. Okay. Let's start with chapter 1. We have Akira, who spends a week sick after getting his substance. Now they play it off as a funny moment, like, haha, he's an idiot. He caught a cold. But it's very strange because it's not like he had health conditions, and so it's very strange that he was sick for an entire week, compared to everyone else who was like a couple days at max. But it's like, all right, that's not really much proof. That's fine. Now, let's okay, that's fine. Not that much proof. It's okay. So next thing is, Akira achieves overflow very, very quickly. You could say maybe he's like a genius or whatever, but he achieves it very quickly for someone who just recently got his substance. And the only other person who could achieve it at that time, yeah, he got it rather late as well. He achieved it without any significant trouble compared to like for example, like Ren, who had to take the drugs. The cold, yeah, he got the cold very late. So we have those things, and they're not enough to actually really cause problems. It's like, okay, well, maybe he really is a genius, but he achieves it so easily. All right, achieves the overflow very easily. Now, situation. We go to chapter 10 of the first arc. We have already shown that Sirius basically knocked out Gast and Will easily with a flick of his hand. But with Akira, he could easily do that, but he instead smacks him around. And he's actually enjoying it. He's enjoying testing it. And my thought is, if he's supposed to be very competent, like, and he's not like the card-carrying villain who's just doing it for the evils. Like, ultimately, Sirius is a guy with a plan. So the fact that he went out of his way to test Akira, Mr. Overflow, even let him overflow, didn't care about the fact that he was overflowing. So he's just like, in fact, it looked like he was even waiting for that. So, and beats him up, which, makes sense because things happen. So my crackpot theory, he was testing Akira. Now that he's like, all right, this is my experiment. Okay. So that's why I'm like, okay, maybe Sirius has a vested interest. Now you're saying, okay, how does this relate to him saving from fire? So remember that Akira first thought that, okay, it was Jay who saved him from the fire. But then Jay said that, oh, no, it was definitely not me. And then they mentioned that Brad was there that day, but it's not something he would really hide. Like, if it was asked, he'd be like, yeah, sure, it was me. And then, call it a day, right? But Brad says it wasn't him either. Now, okay, now we're gonna converge these two ideas together. Brad is an eclipse plant, so he's basically kind of like watching Akira from afar to make sure his progress is going smoothly. And Sirius, he saved Akira from the fire, experimented on him, like similar to what he did with Oscar and Sheen, and just sent him off the merry way to be like a sleeper agent. And that's why he has a vested interest in him, and why he has just enough stuff that seems a little bit, you know, not very suspicious at first glance, but could be a problem later. And then, ultimately, think about it this way. Akira almost died by being burned alive. Because he was in he was trapped in a building. That should be scary. He should be, I think he should, he should at least be a little bit concerned that his substance is the very thing that almost ended him. But he doesn't care at all. He's shown no outward reaction to, hey, my substance is my trauma, you know? So, he could easily, be hypnotized or brainwashed to be like, hey, I'm not afraid of that anymore. And it's shown that Sirius has like, a lot of like, he has a lot of light novel powers, like light novel tier powers, like, hey, I'm gonna just like manipulate memories, insert myself into like conversations like he did with Sage, etc., etc. He can hypnotize people, like things like really mild ones like we saw during Overflow, to he can probably be even more complex. So you never suspect the idiot to be the problem. You never suspect them, because you realize, oh, they're just kind of being dumb. But if he's the sleeper agent and obviously doesn't really know himself, he can't be a problem if he doesn't know he himself is a problem, unless he's given like the trigger words to tell to remember. So like, clearly, who would suspect Akira of being the mole? No one. And that makes him a perfect mole. Anyways, that's a long ramble, but that's my TED talk of why it could be him. Because it would be, it would challenge, you could say, Akira's beliefs of, I want to be a hero because a hero saved me. But it finds out that it's not a hero who saved him, but it's Sirius? Like, that would screw him up either way. So basically, the answer is, I want to destroy Akira's character development and build it back up. Anyways, thank you for coming to my TED Talk. This is why, Sirius saved Akira from the fire, and I will not accept otherwise until proven otherwise. Like this or something. Hello, it's hard to do a half rectangle like that. Then we can fill it up with actual pink later. Like, oh nope, I needed that. Thank you, I appreciate it. This is the crackpot theory I've had since like Arc 1, so it's like, I really, really hope it's true. Nope. Just do. Just move this to the side. But that's the idea, basically. Yeah, that's the idea. That's the plan. That's the hey, he's the problem here, but nobody knows it. Actually, just do this. Just dump paint in here. Dump paint in here. Do that, and then round it off. Use that as a base, basically. Exactly, because it's like, hey, I want to be a hero. Brad's like, haha, not actually a hero. I'm an Eclipse, you know? And for me, it's like, hey, that would fit with why he doesn't want to tell Faith why he pushed him away. Because it's like, hey, I'm not actually the hero you thought I was. I'm actually a villain. Which, you know, it would go against everything that happened. I would love to see it too, because, you know, the younger brother has grown confident enough. He must surpass his misguided older brother. Etc., etc. But we'll have to see, because, like, first of all, they have to deal with, you know, Oscar, if I'm assuming you've been paying attention to the story recently, you know, just in case you haven't, but, like, things are getting spicy based on that PV. Very spicy, so, I'm hoping all goes well. Quote-unquote well. Just want to do this for my own sake. Oh. Anyways, that's my theory about how Sirius saved Akira from the fire. And, surely I will not be wrong about this, right? Right? Surely, if I believe in something hard enough, it will come true. That. Yeah, it's like he's going through the motions, basically. It's not like anything. It's not like what's the word? It's not like he gives a damn, which is, well, he should, right? He should give a damn, but he doesn't. Like, if you don't suspect the guy who clearly does, you know, clearly looks like an idiot, that's fine. But you also will never suspect the guy who is like upper management. You will never suspect them because you don't think anything is wrong. Because you obviously they're trusted. They must be in a trusted position, so they clearly they have their best interests at heart, right? But that's not the case. That doesn't seem the case. There's just enough that it doesn't seem right. Exactly. Mr. Hey, I completed this video, this event in, you know, I think it was like Happy Hero World, their in-game like mobile game, and he's supposed to be super busy, and they played it off as a joke. But what I've learned about this game, what these writers so far, is that if don't take jokes as jokes, because there will be a way that they will turn it into like a non-joke, and they will laugh at you. Thank you. Thank you for being convinced by my theory. I will not accept being wrong until proven in game in game's lore. But until then, surely it is real. Surely it is this is the reason why Brad has just basically been gone. Because it's like, if he's supposed to be so important, surely we would have learned something about him by now, right? But we never did. We've never learned about Brad in these past 4 years. We never learned much about him, except that he's achieved overflow. He's quote-unquote busy. He cares about Faith. He's part of the Miracle Trio. And that he's suspicious as hell. That's all we really learned about him in the past 4 years. While everybody else has gone their own character development, or, actually learn things. Or in Jay's case, just kind of like growing along by, being the haha mentor. I appreciate it. I kind of want to write fanfiction as well, but like, there's no time, unfortunately. So, sometimes we must make sacrifices for the greater good. And this is one of them. I guess we could just do a piece of paper that's like that. You just have to... Something like that. Something like that. I think he wouldn't be going back to alcoholism. I think he'd be so pissed off. He'd like chase Brad down and be like, alright, listen here, you bastard. You're gonna fucking explain everything. Dino would definitely be devastated because it's like, did Brad sell me out? And that's pretty important to know. Did he sell him out? We don't know for sure. Yeah, exactly. West is going to implode, and as a West fan, I want to see that happen. I want to see West explode. Because they look like they got their shit together after, becoming part of the anti-Eclipse unit. Okay, so we have South, who also hasn't exploded yet. So, I totally hope that both Akira and Brad are part of Eclipse, just so, explode that. We had the North explosion with the whole gas and, not coming together. We have the whole problems with Ash and Billy and Gray and Jay being kidnapped. So clearly, it is time for South and West to die. And I see this as a South and Westie. It is time for us to die. So, in any case, that is That's the plan. That's what I'm hoping that they'll do this year. I want Happy Elements to be brave enough to destroy their teams. Like, actually show permanent growth. Like, yeah, they'll be, like, emotionally scarred and whatever, but, you know, sometimes it's worth it. Sometimes it's worth the pain and the suffering, etc. So seeing that the PV right now where Oscar's all like, well, Oscar quote unquote is like, Oscar is not my name, I'm no hero, I am Eclipse. Like, that's a good spicy start over there, and I am very excited to roll for the banner and hoping I don't flop. Because whoever they include based on the characters they showed, I will roll for all of them. I would roll for all of them. Just like right there, full stop. Whether it was like I think it was like Jude, Faith, obviously, Brad, Dino, Oscar. Especially if they gave him, especially if they gave Oscar an Eclipse skin like they gave with Dino on the home screen, I would buy that in a heartbeat. So, they will definitely get money from me, and there's nothing I can do to stop it. Thank you very much. My rolls have been, kind of ass, but we'll see in the when I put together all my rolls in the compilation, probably by the end of this month, and see what happens. A part of me has mixed feelings that I think the video I had with most views, it's not any of the guides, I think. Let me check. Yeah, it's not. Well, okay, no, it's the one with the most views is the beginner's guide, which makes sense. But the one with the second most views it's the N-Stars collab gotcha. That one has the second most views, and I'm just like, man, not my guides, not my reviews or anything. It's just my pain and suffering. I don't think Ash would be would go to Eclipse on his own free will, because he's already shown that he does not like traitors. He kind of hates them, in fact. And he's also kind of like pissed in general, so like, he definitely has a lot to say about. They are bigger, but you know, it's like, man, makes all these videos. Second most video is, do you want to see a gacha player's wallet just die in real time? So there's that. And then I think also when I'm making like content, I want to make like more content-ish shorts, you know, kind of funnies about my gacha. So I've been kind of experimenting on that. Because ultimately it's like, yeah, I could put like mini guides in there. Things like, hey, here's your patrol efficiency. But I don't know if people would actually view them. Because the thing with shorts is that they're meant to be loopable. If they, you know, obviously build up the hours and stuff. But it's really hard to do that in like an informative context. Hello, Solana. If there's an EN Helios game, I think the problem with that is like, how do you transfer stuff over? Right? Anyways, you're coming, Solana, you've come to the part of the stream where I'm attempting to draw and don't remember how to draw. Because I already finished my stuff, my dailies for today. Probably something like that. Just looking for an explosion of paper. Thank you. Yeah, I'm doing this with the mouse because I think the reason is I never charged my my stylus, and I can't charge it without unplugging my headset or the tablet itself. So it's like, well, shit, you know. I guess like I guess I could probably unplug the tablet because I'm not using it, but it's also like, I may have made a misjudgment. It also kind of crashed my stream when I set up my tablet the first time. So, you know, oops. Anyways, I might call in about like a little bit just so that I can get things done out of the way. I know it's early, but like something has come up as usual. No rest for the wicked, as they say. Just making sure. So we have our paper here. I'll probably get rid of like these extra lines here, and then make those said lines sharper. That's going to be fun. Move them over. Anyway, other than that, we were just discussing crackpot theories and also what we're hoping to see in the news chapter, which is a lot, given the PV that I pinged you with no remorse because you had to see it. We will not die alone. Oh, I mean, same. I don't think any South or Westy player is actually mentally ready. So it probably looks something like this, if, you know. I think that's my only concern, is that if we put the emote, it'd be about this size. So, you know, haha, very funny. Let's do... and attach it. Wes has gone through so much, and they need to go through more, because suffering builds character. Ultimately, the more character. So, you know, I think this is a good thing. You know, ignoring the fact that their characters would be in pain, but like sometimes they need to be in a little bit of stuff. Because how do you grow if you win all the time? How do you grow if you're never challenged? When you never put yourself out there. That's the thing that we have to like kind of keep in mind. Like, there's a difference between that and actual excessive suffering, and obviously avoid the excessive suffering because that's just a snuff film at that point. But like, ultimately, it's about time that a day of reckoning comes. And this is it. I'm gonna save just real quick. Control S, make sure bad things don't happen. Let's change the... Alright, what BGM do we want? What are we thinking? I can't play the NSOURCE one or this will get DMCA'd, so I'm not doing that one. Maybe this one. You know, you're not a normal teenager if that doesn't happen. Unfortunately, we're living in a reality where it's very normal to have to, you know, deal with coping. Yeah, Junior has to basically, he has to support not only Faith, but he'll also have to support Dino as well, because obviously he's going to say something about it, and then depending on what happens, other people. Yes, a year has at least 1 year has passed in the main story. We don't know if it's been 2 years by the 4th anniversary. Only that it's at least been 1 year by 2nd anniversary. Thick lines because they won't show up otherwise. I don't remember the... Can I actually... Can I... No, I can't. I can't pick outside of that. Damn. That's okay. I'll figure out those colors later, but I'm gonna at least fill in the paper then. Why can't you give beer to Faith? Because, well, okay, it depends on what's the age of consent. Because in different places around the world, the age of consent can be like 21, for example. The other thing is that they would have to recode the, like, who can get that. They would have to adjust that. And that just seems like too much trouble for its worth. I say this with my very limited knowledge of, like, coding in general. But basically, it's not worth it. There's no reason for them to do that, basically. Set this up so and this can help me get rid of like these smudge lines later. Maybe we'll get a marrying card that's drunk someday, maybe, but for now it's like, nah. Probably not happening. Yeah, because gas is 20 at the start of the entire game, so it's like, oh yeah, we can just we can code this easily. But then they have to like, basically add a good chunk of people, and then they would have to consistently do that every year, and it's like, yeah, I can see why. That just sounds like too much trouble. Adjust this line. There we go. Make it a bit more crisp. No, that's a this one. I want this a bit more crisp. Here too. Do that. There we go. I'll worry about that later. Yeah. So, like, in story, it's fine because they can just write it in. But, like, programming it, that does at least take a little bit of time to do that. And I don't think they really want to touch the code. They haven't really touched the code too much besides adding the Arcana buff, which is like, hey, check if the buff exists. If not, grant status. If it exists, consume status to apply said debuff. I don't really know what coding language to use. I think it's like C++ or something. That's my guess, just out of blue. But like, things can break if you're not careful, essentially put. Yeah, it was first Annie. It was the first Annie card, I think. First or second Annie card. Actually, I'll shade it in later. But yeah, the fact that it's coming out tomorrow and I'm just like, tonight I have to finish my my Arcana Heroes card, a video, my review. I have to record my script and then edit everything. Make sure everything's set up properly, ship it out, and if I have time, maybe make shorts, and if not, then that'll suck, because I still have to script that. I still have to get at least the visuals in. It takes time to do that. Time that I may not have, but we'll see. Because at this point, like, as soon as tomorrow hits, like, nobody's gonna care about Arcana. They're gonna be like, hey, show us the information about the new about Polar Star, and it's like, I'm working on it, sirs and ma'ams. Please, but I'm just one team. Yeah, and then also combining it with just like my existing obligations and also streaming, and it's like, well, there's no rest for the wicked, but I guess it feels pretty fulfilling to actually do stuff. And also just work in general as well. That's not right. I need this one. Maybe I don't need the arms I initially sketched. I can just... What I can do, actually, is just, I can move all of this, and I can move it down. Right? I think so. Yeah, I can just move it down. Kind of like lurking. Maybe I can squish it a little bit. Squish it slightly. Yeah, because as you can tell, my lines are a little bit slanted. So it's like a help kind of thing. And it's not like, it doesn't really give the whole peak effect that I'm thinking of. So, let's cancel that, that one, just, scale this and then kind of squish it in. I'm still thinking about how to do it. But, anyways, those are the plans for this year, and also just live streaming in general, because on one hand, I do like to talk to people, in real time, not just yapping away on towards my microphone for hours and hours and hoping that nothing gets outdated, but also just building up those watch hours. Haha. We'll see what happens first. I get my my watch hours or the subs. But of course, it's pointless if it's not useful information. And of course, that's one of the main goals, is ultimately, is it useful information? If it's not useful, then, you know, doesn't matter. Yeah, I'll get that bag and get paid like 5 cents per 10k views. Or something like that. But it's at least like very passive income because I don't have to look at it again. It's just if somebody else is watching it, then it's like, all right, cool, I get money for that. The only one I can't really monetize is golden section, because that uses you know, uses their music and they don't want me to do that, and that's totally fine. I don't mind if that's not monetized. And I think I'm at least adding value, just like going over the cards. I hope I'm adding value because it's like, hey, I'm trying to give my own point, my point about them instead of just reading the skill descriptions. That's like I try to do that, but also like give my 2 cents about it. It's just so it's not like, hey, I'm farming content because I can read a wiki, right? That's not what I'm about. Oh, that's fine. For me, it's just because I don't have my schedule is honestly just pretty rigid, so that's why this is the best time for me to do it without making too many shakeups in my existing schedule. Because my streaming schedule on Twitch is already pretty solid, I think, by now. It's from 3 to 7 p.m. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. And I don't really want to deviate from that point because I actually earn money there. Haha. Oh, gotcha. I appreciate it because it's like, it's hard because if most kits are like the same, I don't know how to say, hey, this character is good and this character is not so good. And if I just say, hey, if you bring in like XYZ character, it's like, well, what if the people don't have XYZ character, right? How do I see it as a character as a whole, like if they're good or not? That's why I kind of have mixed feelings with current Ash, because it's like, he could be okay. Problem is, you know, something I would probably outline in the video is that his first skill is a team-wide buff, and the second skill is a self-buff. And I'm like, you could just be both self-buffs. You know that, right? And it'd be okay. But he just, yes. It feels weird. That's the thing I have with his set, is that it's weird. I'll probably end soon, though, just so I have time to do stuff. Basically, it depends on the hero. Like, for Bianchi, you get the Arcana buff by using a burst skill if you don't have the Arcana status. And the next time you use your burst skill, it will apply a special bonus. So, for example, for Bianchi, if you consume the Arcana buff, his burst skill will inflict 3 levels of sackable defense down. Which is, you know, okay, but it seems like a lot of work to get there, especially because he's not really a DPS. For Ash, it's better. If he consumes the Arcana buff, his burst skill does more damage. Which is like, you know, that's passable. That's alright. It just means that he's much better for, like, long fights, which is what the game's slowly trying to push towards. Forcibly long fights. So, for example, Survive, where it's like, alright, well, you gotta do XYZ, you have to live to 10 turns. Things like that. But ultimately, I come from GBF, where it's like, hey, you gotta optimize by turn 1. So I am definitely very biased in that area, unfortunately. Alright, now that we have this, we can add a shade. In any case, yeah. Gonna make cards for the heroes on Altar. I assume they will, because that's what they rebranded the entire Survive event for this year to Arcana, you know, Arcana Heroes, right? Arcana Survive Heroes, which is basically just heroes with Arcana effects. So we'll see what happens. But also, like, do you really need any of them? My general consensus so far is no, you don't need them unless you're missing a significant hole in your kit, in which case that's a different problem altogether. That's a systemic issue. But, like, for CMs, for example, like CMs, he would be good to have because he is an Eclipse character and like he's the first one of his kind. So like he has a value for that, even if he's not ultimately not that great of a character. I was going to add shade like this, and I could probably like smudge it later like this. Hello. Hello, Twee. This is me attempting to remember what it's like to art and failing. That's the erase tool. That's the frick help. And I can just smudge this later afterwards. That's let's try this again actually. I can just do what was it? This. By the way, I'm doing this with a mouse because my stylus is not charged. So I have made a like a terrible mistake in my thought process. Was like, hey, I'm gonna do art, but then you know, forgot to check about it. Whoops. But yeah, basically the situation is, this is how I will get good in art, by forcing myself in difficult situations to get good. Or actually, no, I could just shape this entire thing. Or I pay someone. But also that would defeat the purpose of getting better if I just paid someone. I'm insane good or insane bad? Yeah, I skipped step 1 and went straight to step 10. You know, that's just a thing I do, honestly. I just skipped this step 10. Yeah, suffering builds character, so that's what I'm doing. I'm suffering. Don't know how to art, don't have my pen tool, having some problems. But like for reference, the emote is going to be like this size when it's put into the Twitch chat. It is like going to be tiny as shit. Yeah, I'm going to be building character when the gacha banner drops. So, you know, there's that. And, you know, it will be a moment where everybody gets to laugh at me. Those who watch in live and those who watch from the video later. They'll laugh and realize, wow, this person's unlucky as sin. The issue was I was gonna do something like this because it's buried under it. Oh, I lost it for a moment. Thank you. So for me, it's like, hey, I don't want to pull, and they're just like, hey, we're gonna show you your favorite characters. Jude literally being there out of nowhere was targeted, like actually targeted. They went straight for me and they're like, stop that. They're like, you don't get to roll in Star Rail. Can I, thank you. It should be actually like this. Actually, no. If it's like that, then it should be... I'll probably make it darker later, but... But basically the intention for this emote, if you can't tell, I assume you can, is as it's a lurk emote. It's a, you know... And I'm hoping that I can at least, if I can get it done, I can probably like integrate it into like Twitch or Discord or something like that, you know, just be like, hey, this is branding or something like that. You don't want to roll because of him. No comment. I'm just going to say this. It's a targeted attack towards me. So basically, if you believe in my luck, you will realize I'm probably going to be fucked. A blobbing emote. Well, you see, Tweet, the problem is I can't draw a good blob, and it would be part of my, like, Twitch actual emote slots, which are basically, to put it bluntly, it's, I have 5 free follower slots, I have 5 tier 1 sub-standard slots, and 5 GIF emote, 5 GIF emote slots, and 2 additional GIF emote slots, plus tier 2 and tier 3. Yeah, tier 3 emote. Okay, well, the problem is I would have to draw it, but my priority right now is get the follower and just tier 1 emotes out of the way, because those are ones that are most accessible, especially the follower, well, especially the tier 1 ones, you know, to bait people to actually spend, haha. But it's something I would have to do eventually or hire people. But of course, that also depends on whether I actually grow or not. Because if I don't grow, then, you know, doesn't really matter. I'll get the colors done later. Probably make this section a little bit darker as well. This for now. Like the thing with emotes is that it's kind of comfy because they're not meant to have so much detail. They're tiny ultimately. They're cute tiny things. You should watch the trailer with audio. It's so good. You will look. You're not gonna slay Jude. You're gonna throw him to me. You were playing Star Rail. Yeah, you were. I haven't had the time to go through the story yet, and I plan to do that probably on Thursday, just before. Actually, no, I don't have time on Thursday because if it takes like 5 to 7 hours. And the banner drops at like 10 my time, I'm not gonna have enough time. Yeah. Let me add an extra shade here. Shade 2. Alright, well, I said I was going to end earlier, but I didn't. But I'm probably going to actually end for real in about like 15 minutes, just so I have time to do stuff. Yeah, there's some people who are already done, and I'm like, you know, that's great for them, but I was busy yesterday, and, you know, busy today, just getting stuff set up. Gosh, that reminds me, I still need to work on, like, my Twitch banners as well, and I'm like, you know, I might just hire somebody to do it and be like, please, art for me. But we'll see. I also need to fix the colors, too. But I don't know. My problem with the paper is that it looks nice, but it doesn't really feels like she's buried in paperwork. So I might have to scrap like a good chunk of it. And then either that or like what was it? Like this, and then just move it so. Oh, nope. Move all of that. Nope. Like, oh. Like, that's the funny thing I want to do is, like, she's just buried in paperwork. Like, no. Peeking. Which means I scrapped a good chunk of my stuff, but, like, you know. Buried. And I would have to make it, like, at least a little bit bigger. Just be like... like this. And then basically draw a bunch more paper and it's just like piled on top of it or something like that. This might actually be the better option. Thinking about it. This might be. Just having the eyes peek out. It's just Chrysalic or something. Let me... what are the colors you... I'm gonna just rough draft this. For the eyes, I might make it more detailed, but I'm like... I'm just spitballing right now. Like, this is just, like, second draft. What was the color again? Okay. Unfortunately, I cannot drag my, eyedropper to my thing over there. Just be like, alright, fuck it, we ball or something. Brown. It needs to be like a flaxen brown. One more thing. I'm at least glad the stream was stable after the first, snafu, where it just kind of imploded. Which is unfortunate, but here we are. Yeah. Anyways, this is not the right one. I need this one. I'll get the proper color later, but just like something like this. Yeah. I think the only other problem I have is that for emotes, I can't just like test them one at a time. I have to like put them in batches because they do take like several days to review. So that's it's unfortunate, but here we are. Yeah. Honestly, I don't really have much to say. I think I spent most of my energy earlier, which is like sharing my conspiracy theory about how Sirius saved Akira from the fire. And you know, if you know, you know. Because he did. Totally did. Right? Right. Yeah, welcome back. No, I'm just kind of like summing it up. Yeah, making emotes is always hard. And for me, who's like going to level 10 from level 0, we could have better ideas, but this is not one of them. I would probably add a, what's it? There we go. Just a dark shade, just to be like, hey, this is all the paper flying around. To like something like over here, dark shadow. Just over here, fill it up. Fill it up. There we go. Don't care about those lines. Pretend they don't exist. Probably like make it like this. Stretch it out. Something like that. And then delete the parts that don't really fit. Something like that. Yeah, it's my suffering stream, but you know what? We're just getting started. That's what this year is about so far. It's just my suffering. Alright, yeah, I'll just leave it like that and figure it out later. Things like, splitting the bangs apart and just filling in the skin. Maybe redoing the eyes, so they're at least a bit more not half-assed. No, oh no, I'm going to probably be ending stream about now. Thank you guys for showing up or like sticking around, whether a few minutes or like the entire time. It was scuffed, but the stream must end, and I will probably be here next week on Wednesday. I might change the time to from like 4:30 to 6 p.m. just because PM PST, mostly because it's like I can fill up most Helios content by then. Other than that, it's just a matter of kind of chilling and vibing. Alright, take care, have a good night. See you guys later. Bye-bye.